What's good, everybody? What is good, everybody's big game, James, man. I'm back in these streets, back in these Cowboys chilling streets, talking to my dog Mike White. We having that man, we just doing burgers and blitzes whenever. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We both got working jobs, we both got life, and we ain't tripping on that other stuff like that. So we ain't got no damn schedule. We just do it how we do, and y'all just be ready for it when it drops. So it's dropping today. I hit my dog up, said let's do a post game, and here we are. Cowboys are headed to victory against the Carolina, sorry ass Carolina Panthers. People are getting hyped. Oh, Mike Zimmer, keep Mike Zimmer. I ain't hating, saying don't, but keep Mike Zimmer. And they're playing sorry teams. Although Bengals do got a good offense, and I like that showing, but still, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. But before I get to talking, because I'm doing a lot of talking today, Mike. Today, I'm doing a lot of talking today. What's up, my dog, Mike White, Burgers and Blitzes? We here. You know he's in the great outdoors. What's up with you, dog?
Man, I'm chilling, Bubba. Chilling. It was supposed to be a shitty weekend. It's been kind of bad today. It's been kind of like super Londony, a little bit of Portland in there, all drizzly and just like, eh. Dude, I slept till we were supposed to do it. So full clarity, we were supposed to do a pregame show. My ass ain't wake up till like 5 minutes before kickoff.
Yes,
I
and
slept
don't
in
ever
by like,
send a picture like that to me again, ever in your life. Don't ever send a picture like.
dude, my
Don't
head,
ever send
my
a
head
picture,
was off.
bro. Don't ever send a picture like that to me again.
So we were supposed to run one at like 10, but because I wake up at 5, 5:30 every day. But man, I woke up this morning, like let the dogs out, and uh, who let the dogs out? I did, and then let the dogs out and got a little something ready for breakfast. And I was like, I'm just gonna lay back down. When I lay back down, I thought I'd be back up by like 8:30, something like that. Dude, I didn't move until it was literally she had to come wake me up. She goes, they kick off in 5 minutes. I was like, oh damn. So my day's been all thrown off. Besides that, and other than that, I found out that I lost one of my headphones at work, so I'm one
hmm
wheeling it today. Hopefully that thing's still there when I get. Cause I have an idea where I dropped it, but so that's bad news. And then other than that, man, we're chilling. They're going victory formation right now on the game. That's
Yeah,
Turks 30-14.
victory formation against the sorry Carolina Panthers, and once again, I
Hey,
think we both agreed. Hey, the Panthers are not good. And once again, I think we both can agree that Bryce Young was a mistake. Even though I was happy that he has played better, I am happy that he has played better. But it was still a mistake. He was not a number one overall draft pick. He is not still a number one overall draft pick. And the Carolina Panthers, I still think need to look in other directions, like maybe give him another chance. But I just don't see him being a franchise type quarterback now, in my opinion. Just not me. And so I really didn't feel like the Carolina Panthers had no kind of chance today anyway. But since I'm talking about this, I'm talking about a lot of things. I see in the comments right now talking about Mike McCarthy. We're going to probably talk about a lot of things, but let's jump out on this coaching because I have my own thoughts on coaching. But we all hear that Mike McCarthy could come back because Dak was advocating for him. Why in the hell? I don't. I know why, but Dak was. Well, I don't know why, but on my thoughts. Michael Parsons, Jared, maybe it could happen. Now it's in the streets. It could happen. What's your thoughts on Mike McCarthy coming back?
I think this is just. I mean, I've never been a fan, and people get it misconstrued. And when I talk about how he could be back next year, that's not how I feel. That's not how I want. That is not anything of that situation to do with me. It's about how I know this team and how this team operates and how they love comfortability and versus going and finding another coach that could have better results with everything that goes on here. I mean, this is just another game of why I hate Mike McCarthy. The constant dead ball penalties, just it's just this is just another. I know they won by double digits, but you still have the constant. There's 12. What they got caught with 12 men on the field again on offense. Like it's just this constant bullshit, which I hate. But the Ben Johnsons of the world and them ain't coming here. It's not happening.
Mike Zimmer could
It's
be the
flat out.
next coach, couldn't he?
which is even worse. I don't want Zimmer. I
I
don't
know.
want Zimmer within 10 miles of this offense. He's close enough
Exactly.
as it is already.
Exactly. But I already said it, Mike. As soon as he got hired, because they go with somebody's comfortable and familiar. As soon as he got hired as defensive coordinator, I said he could be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys because at this point, Mike McCarthy's in the lame duck year. And if this offense is looking all uneven and whatever, which it has been, and Mike Zimmer is keeping the team together. They're still fighting. The defense is still playing hard. I don't know why you wouldn't see the Joneses say, well, hey, he's been the head coach for the Minnesota Vikings and they won a lot of games. They went to the playoffs and look at the team still fighting under Zimmer. And we're still familiar with him. And the team could fight. Man, I already see these goofy ass front office Cowboys saying some dumb shit like that. I already got a short list of all the players, all the coaches that they would go to because they're soft and familiar with these people, but he definitely will be a consideration. I said that from day one he got hired.
Uh, it's weird because technically Al Harris is above him.
Yeah, he ain't never get a chance. He would never get a chance because they ain't hired no black head coach, especially not no Al Harris.
Uh,
Mm-mm, I don't believe it. I definitely don't believe it, and that'll be a big mistake. Not saying
you're
Al
not
Harris
wrong.
can't coach, but he
You're
that'll be
not
a
wrong
big
on either
mistake.
point. I was just jogging my head about a black head coach that would be, like
Dion won't be
offensive
one.
coordinator or something like that, worthy of a promotion. You know what I mean? I mean, you
Yeah,
got the dude down in there, down in Tampa, costing them games. That's where Ben Johnson's going. Ben Johnson's going to Tampa.
yeah.
That's
I mean,
might as
why
well.
would Ben? We've already talked about that. There ain't even make no sense Ben Johnson even come here because he's want ultimate money. And then we've already talked about it, Mike. Those philosophies that Ben Johnson has in Detroit would never come here in Dallas. They would never work. They would morph you into what they want to morph you into. We talk
Hmm.
about that, Mike. That's why we keep on saying you need to watch this damn Bergen Blitzes. Even though it might seem negative over here, if you really come over here and watch our show, me and Mike tell you so much shit in these last 3 or 4 years that have come to fruition that come to fruition. And we're not hating. We're just trying. This is a real show right here. This ain't we ain't trying to blow smoke up your ass when we talk about this stuff. Okay, we're just trying to tell you ahead of time to proceed with caution. You do what you want to as a Cowboys fan, but we're telling you to proceed as caution. I believe you can agree with that, Mike.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Nobody's telling you not to enjoy a win. I mean, if you're a Cowboys fan, you got to win today. Be happy about that. They were never going to get a top five pick because unfortunately they're just not that bad of a team. There's
Hmm.
worse teams like the one you just
Hmm.
played.
Hmm.
Now, granted, that might be one of the best 3-10 teams. Hey, that might be one of the best 3-10 teams I've ever seen. But you know, just as Cowboys football goes, Dak goes down. All of a sudden, the defense gets healthy and starts playing well. We can never have everything at the same time. It's always
Nope.
one or the other. It's
Yep.
always one or the other.
Yep.
And it's so frustrating on that point. You watch these guys. All of a sudden, Mozzie, shout out. By the way, post game, shout out to Mozzie, big star up today, using his hands,
Play
keeping
another
his
good
head up
game.
because another damn good game. He forced a couple third and longs that could have been third and shorts, and our guy Jordan Lewis still balling. I hope he's okay. I don't know what's going on with that. I have to check. Hope his hamstring didn't finally cash out because he's been dealing with that all week. Um, shout out to, hey, you know what? Shout out to Cooper Rush. That damn throw to Brooks is the best play of his career.
Yeah, that was a great throw. I mean, that was a great
So,
throw, great catch by Jalen Tover and Jalen Brooks. But let's talk about that receiver because we're going to talk about a lot of things. Shout out to Cooper Rush to you, dog. I said something last week. I don't know. I think I was drunk. So I'm gonna just go ahead and say I might have been drunk when I said this. When I said Cooper Rush he is not. I say he's a good quarterback. He's got a terrible arm. He's not a bad quarterback in the brain. Like his brain is a good quarterback. His height is a good quarterback, but like everything else is like to me not good about Cooper Rush. But hey, you did all right today. And Jalen Brooks caught a touchdown and Jalen Tolbert did. But let's talk about this receiver position. And then we're going to talk about Will McClay a little bit because this receiver position, I've been going through the draft since 2016. And for the last 2 months, I've been kind of saying, we ain't the greatest drafters like people say. But the receiver position has not been drafted great. Yes, CD Lamb. but that fell into your lap. That fell into your lap. You didn't go after and get him. And if you look at all the other receivers besides a Michael Gallup who had a decent Cowboys career, Cowboys don't draft good wide receivers, and Dallas needs a number. They need a number 1A besides CD Lamb. They need a dog. What do you think about the receiver position as a whole? And what do you think about Will McClay with drafting receivers? Like, what do you think about this? Because they need to get better with these receivers, dog.
It's their size parameters they have on things. If you're not 6 foot and you're not 220, you're not getting drafted. Like you said, the CD Lamb thing fell into their lap. They didn't have a choice. If you didn't take CD Lamb at 17, you should just sell your franchise and get into the car insurance business. Period. That's that's how much of a layup that one was. So they got these size parameters on these wide receivers, which leads them to, like, if you're six over 6 foot and you're over 200 pounds, you're big for a receiver. When you're big for a receiver, no different than a corner, you have problems with the cuts and the inside and the inside. The same thing they have with corners. Like when OBJ and them would tear them up, they go up against these little shifty ass 5'10" buck 85 guys, and they get tore up because they can't move like that. And you get these big body wide receivers, and you wonder why nobody can get open. Huh? If you're a big body wide receiver like that and you can get open, you're a top 10 pick. You're not a day 3 pick or even day 2 pick. And you can't have it both ways. To there needs to be some give and take there. You need, go get you a little shifty guy. I mean, they're
But
trying
don't
to
we
make
don't
Turpin a thing. You know what I
not to
mean?
cut
But
you off? Yeah, not to cut you off, big dog. But I like Turpin. I told you I've been like Turpin. Me and you went back and forth. Said his eyes, his vision. We both went back and forth, and we said that you got to just get him in some packages because he's explosive. You got to figure out to put him in that offense some kind of way, a new offensive coordinator, whatever. But what with you being saying that with this pick in the first round, there's defensive end, running back, and receiver. I feel like are the first three needs. Do they need to get a dog receiver in the first round? I think they do, or a defensive end. Personally, they need to get a dog receiver. Do you think they need to get that first round?
one of those two, it's got to be an edge or a wide receiver. Is Especially when you're seeing the comings ons of these little offensive line guys like Hoffman and stuff they're plugging in, and even Bass. I know Bass went down, but if you can get something like that, you can really go after a premier position in the first round with like edge or corner or wide receiver. I say corner because you know
Biggs.
may not see him again.
Hmm.
I'm just being realistic there.
Oh, I mean, I heard the noise, and I mean, I seen the reports on some things, and I mean, we were talking about it already. How he didn't get the contract that we thought he would, and he got that cowboy friendly contract, so that'll be easy to cut him.
Yeah, 2025 out super easy. It's that
Super
it's
easy to cut
that's
him
hard.
because it was a cowboy friendly contract, and that's why they want you to sign those cowboy friendly. Getting rid of you, they can cut you easy. Would you agree with that, Mike?
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly why. And that's why I don't want anyone to do it because they will throw you in the garbage the second they get a chance.
Hmm. And all that love that they talk about and the respect that they talk about, it's a bunch of BS. Now,
Yeah,
um, so we talked about Mike Zimmer. I still think he's an option. Let's talk about some other people. With Kellen Moore, I still feel like Kellen Moore is an option. Do you think he's still an option?
for what?
Head coach.
No,
Okay. I still think
I
he
think
is.
he would just. I think he'll just take that job in Philadelphia when it opens up.
Okay. What about I said Mike Vrabel.
That will that will push out what I have left with this team. Mike Vrabel's a
He's a
terrible coach.
possibility. I know he's a possibility though.
He's a terrible coach. And I can't. I'm tired of people pretending that he's something different. He's not a good coach. If y'all want to go hunt down that hoodie tree and
That's
pick one
what
of
it
those
said.
guys,
Bill
you're more than
Belichick
welcome.
in. Hmm.
No, it's not. It's not. Oh, somebody just went. Somebody. I think AJ Brown just went down.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I'm 20 yards away from the TV, so maybe somebody in
Oh,
the chat can
oh,
help us
I
out
got
there.
I got a NFL live right now anyway, so I can switch over to it.
I don't
But yeah,
know very
I
well.
feel like it's Mike. I feel like it's going to be a McCarthy either coming back. I really feel like Zimmer's going to get a chance at this job. I really feel like he's going to get it. He's going to get a chance. If this defense has been playing the way it's playing, and you've been a
I
head
would
coach, and you can
I
hire
would
OCs.
lean I would lean towards either one of those two versus the field
Hmm.
at
Jerry's
this point.
82.
Yeah,
Doesn't it make sense for
I
them?
they're not going to go find a new coach. It's just not going to happen.
Mm-mm.
The guy they're going to bring in is going to be Marvin Lewis, Pete Carroll, uh, Jim Schwartz, some defensive retread. Well, you already have one on the staff. So what makes more sense? Just promoting the defensive retread you have to head coach or
I
going and
mean,
finding a new one?
he was talking about doing it with Kirk Cousin Quinn, because that's what I call him. I call him the Kirk Cousins of head coaching because he'll get you a lot of good stats, but he ain't never winning shit. He ain't never gonna
No.
win nothing. And ain't nobody ever fearing him as no head coach. And just watching these games right here, just shows me he starts fast and he fizzles, and he's gonna do it again. But he would have been in line for that head coach, and he was a defensive coordinator, and everybody. And what was Jerry all hyped about with him? So look how the defense is played, and like I said, I mean. Now, here's the thing. When Dallas played some really good teams, that defense got slaughterhouse. But when they
Yeah.
played okay teams, then it looks good. So to me, here that's the deceiving thing. So all these things are deceiving, Mike, and it's just going to keep on recycling the evilness that we talk about, where
Oh
it's
shit,
just
that was
going to be petty
sorry.
after everything.
That was Bart 2021's Barkley, right?
Oh no, Barkley went down.
Yeah, Barkley went in the tent.
I mean, I don't want that. I don't ever want something like that to happen. I like Barkley.
No, he went in the tent. It was offense, and I didn't see AJ Brown, and I knew he's been dealing with some stuff, so I couldn't see. There was a bunch of people around him, but it was 21 walking into the blue tent. Now
Yeah,
Gruden's making too much money at Barstool. He ain't gonna come fuck around here.
yeah. Why would he? He's gonna deal with that. Like people don't
Work
understand what you have to deal with.
work 2 or 3 days a week, and hang out around floozy ass college girls. He's got a dream job right now.
So also, what's been in the news just yesterday when they interviewed Stephen Goofy Ass Jones, and he said, "Oh Lord, God, why we have all these high picks? I mean, we guys got these top players signed, and because now they're throwing it in the air. Oh, you got to sign Micah. It's in the air, and now it's being talked about, and now it's all. I can't imagine a time where we wouldn't see a Michael Parsons here. Give me that talk because we've been talking about it, and I've been with you as far as the player and you could get picks and do a lot of things to change your team. But where I backed off and saying trading him, I said because those are goofballs and they don't know how to do those things. So we don't have a Jimmy Johnson that can get a Herschel Walker trade back for us. We got Steven Jones and goofy as Jerry Jones, both of them goofy. So I wouldn't want to put that in their hands. And even Will McClay, because he's just a yes man. So I wouldn't want them to do that because I feel like they would fumble the bag or fumble the ball with that. So that's the only reason why I said sign him. So now we're hearing the news about this contract, and now the talk is going back and forth on him. What's your thoughts, Mike?
Uh, Man, I just think it's going to be messy.
It's gonna be real messy, real messy.
And I agree on all fronts. Like for the record, I've never thought that trading him was the smart idea.
Mm-hmm.
but it's the more forward thinking idea,
Mm-hmm.
assuming you can get something out of those picks. Because what's going to happen? He's already laying the groundwork with the way he talks. They're going to
Mm-hmm.
pay Micah, they're going to pay CD, and they're going to pay Dak, and they're going to blame those three as to why they don't do anything else. And it's
Exactly.
going to be those three players versus the fucking world.
Exactly.
And that is my issue. That's what worries me. Is now you've got, well, we paid these guys. Why can't we win?
Exactly.
And you know, which is fine and dandy, but it doesn't make any sense. That's you're talking about three players when there's a 46-man game day roster. You got to fill that. So that dog don't hunt with me, but I can already hear it. I mean, he's literally already saying it.
He's already saying it.
Like
And we said he
when
was gonna say it, right?
he's talking about we got these stars, we're paying all this money that are already hurt. He's talking about Micah, even though they're not paying him. When Micah was hurt, they're talking. He's thinking, well, what if we was paying Micah $30 million a year to play football, and he's on the sideline? I know what's going to happen. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's a pretty safe bet that they'll end up paying him. If they don't pay him, it's going to get nasty. They need to pay him this offseason to have a chance. Because if it gets to fifth year option, franchise tag type shit,
Oh, he ain't gonna like that tag. He ain't gonna be
mm-mm.
doing that tag.
I
Woo!
knowing Micah the way that I think I do, I don't think he'd show up in August without a deal.
Yeah, I don't think he is not gonna mess around with that tag at all. Like he's not gonna play that game.
No, that is so. It's already on you. It's already here. Oh, by the way, Tyler Smith's ready. It's boom, boom, boom. So
Mhm.
they will use these contracts like Gallup, where they pay a hurt guy, or Pollard, where they pay a hurt guy. They get mad that he doesn't show up 100% the next season, even though he got hurt way late in the year, and then use that as an excuse as to why they don't give out money to these guys and why they don't make moves
Mhm.
and stuff. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it's really
Mhm.
annoying. I mean,
It's disgusting.
I know not a lot of people are watching Tennessee Titans football, but I know the Dallas Cowboys sure could use some Michael Gallup, or not Michael Gallup, but Tony Pollard this year.
Mhm.
That dude's been
Oh
balling.
no, no, oh no, 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 because Dallas is going to use. Well, see, we told you why we kept Rico Dowdle. Like they're so whack. They're going to use that. He's been running these games, and like I said, you haven't played the greatest defenses, and that's why you're. I mean, these defenses that you're playing are Cincinnati was one of the worst defenses in the league. Carolina, not a great defense. It's good. It's not great. You can basically do a lot of things on. So it's not like Rico Dotto's been going against top defenses and running for like a buck 50 and things of that nature. And I'm not taking anything from Rico, but he is just an average running back. He's a straight
Yeah, he's
line
just a
runner,
dude.
downhill runner. He's a
He's
straight
just a
line
dude.
downhill running back. There's nothing special about Rico Dotto at all. But I like how he's playing. But now they'll gas it up as, see, we got Dotto, and if they foolishly don't look in the draft because of Rico Dotto has been doing, and they can come back and say, well, we still have Deuce Vaughn in the cut. I mean, I don't even get mad at it anymore, no, Mike, but I could just see the things that they'll use when any positive happens for like somebody who's undrafted. They'll really push that, like, see, look, we have, and then they'll push Will McClay. Because don't you think he should get some blame in this soon? Because he's a yes man. He's a good old boy too.
The thing with
Is he
McClay
not?
is
Is he not?
he's amply compensated. handsomely compensated for the job that he does. But the way
Exactly.
the Jones boys like it, the Jones boys like it that when the lights get cut on after a bad pick, everybody's hands in the cookie jar. But when the lights get cut on when they make a good pick, their hands in the cookie jar. So it's there's never anybody truly to blame, but they always get credit for the hits.
Hmm.
And that is why the things are set up the way they are. When it's almost like a clue. The lights power goes out, power comes back on, somebody's dead. Everybody's pointing every direction. So nobody's
Hmm.
really left holding the bag.
Hmm.
But when it works out, we like that Demarcion Overshones. We like that boy. It's
Hmm.
they get to step in front of it and take it. Meanwhile, Will McClay will go in there and step on like he did in Oxford and own the taco pick. He didn't want taco no more than man of the moon, but he went up there and owned it. So he's a yes man in the sense that yeah, he still cashes the check. Yeah, so there's that culpability there, but he's also gets to do like GM stuff, not full GM stuff. He gets to do GM stuff without talking to the media and all that nonsense. They take care of him.
Well, also, yeah, we'll see. Also, he has the reason why he don't leave that job. Think about it.
He's
And
making $10 million a
sis,
year.
exactly, sis, don't start tripping. But this is why I say because he's in a situation like they're in the situation. Ain't nobody firing them,
No
right? And
job security, bro.
right, he would be on
Job security.
blast if he had.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have that job security at any other job. He wouldn't have that job security. He wouldn't have the security where he could hide or if anything could happen because he because of that dynamic you just talked about that they have that none of them really have to take the blame on anything, but when it hits, they can all jump out and say, "Yeah, we did it." That's a good situation for him because if he goes somewhere else and he missed on picks like he may have, because these then they'll be like, "You don't got a job and you ain't making that money." Whereas here in Dallas, he never has to worry about that, so he ain't never leaving that.
Hush. Dog's acting up. Sorry. Uh, you're exactly right. And he's in a spot now where he can pick and choose where he wants to go. He's going to go somewhere. If he was to go somewhere, it would be somewhere like Ravens, Steelers, Philly,
He wouldn't know.
maybe even
He
maybe even
never would leave.
Tampa.
Never would leave.
I don't blame him.
That's what I'm saying. But
I
that
don't
that
blame
leads
him.
that but that leads to what we still talk about as dysfunction, don't you think?
Yeah, surely it does because he doesn't have the ability on March 10th to pick up the phone and say, "Hey, uh, that Kyle Duggar y'all got, that Kyle Duggar, we're interested. What's it looking like to get him?" And they could say, "Oh, we'll take it forward," and he can't just go deal. He got to go. All right, we call Jerry. We call Steven. Oh, Jerry didn't answer his phone. He's probably at the Crescent. All right, let me call Steven. Shit. He don't have any service. Uh, damn. Okay, let me get back to you, Buff. Let me get back to you. And by the time he gets back to you, Kyle Duggar signed for a 4 year, $25 million deal with the Patriots. That type shit.
Hmm.
So he does put up with that, and that is on him. That's 100% on him. But at the same time, like
He's
we
in a
say,
great
job security.
situation,
That
job
that dude
security
ain't getting
wise. I
fired.
mean,
That dude
exactly.
that dude ain't getting because they get to show up 2 or 3 times a week when they want to and play football guy.
Hmm.
It's the same reason that homeless man's still in a uniform for running back for Dallas. That dude wouldn't be on 31 other rosters. We know
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
We know that. He'd been
Hmm.
washed since 2017. But, you know, Will McClay's got to go get the ink set up and sign the deal. So, like, I get it. I get it. I know there's people out there that are like, why is Will McClay not catching any heat? Like a lot of things with the Cowboys, it's a complex situation, and the way they have it engineered, the way they have it set up is, like I said, when the lights cut on, there's 4 or 5 people with their hand in the cookie jar.
Hmm.
Well, who told them to put their hand in there? Who reads first? Whose idea was it? It doesn't matter. There's 4 people there that can take blame for the situation of how what had happened was. That makes sense? Or was I just rambling just to ramble?
No, you make perfect sense. I mean, like I said, he's in the perfect situation. If I was in a situation like him in reality, because you can never trust a job. There is no job security nowhere in
Mm.
life. So if you're in a situation like that, I don't blame him. But I'm just
It's
saying to
extra.
where
He's
that
still a human. Yeah.
he's still a
You know.
human, because at the end of the day, this is bigger than football. This is your livelihood. This is where you live every day. So I'm not hating on that at all. But the other side of it is, I feel like that still, and we both talked about it, creates a dysfunction, because he is always going to say, "Okay, I'm cool with this." So whatever goofy mistakes or goofiness that they go through, he may not like it, so I ain't really gonna speak out on that and say nothing, because that messes up my situation. You get what I'm saying? So we just
He's
have to
got
keep
kids to
that.
feed.
He got mouths to feed. You feel what I'm saying? So he's not gonna move away from that. But it still stands to dysfunction, because you are feeding into them and they don't have a clue, because
No,
obviously we know they don't have a clue about. We keep on seeing these same continuous things. We just saw them go give a fourth round pick. I don't know if Will McClay said, "I want Jonathan Mingo from the Carolina Panthers for a
no.
fourth
Jerry.
round pick."
Jerry said.
I don't
Jerry said
believe
he
that.
made the phone call on that.
Okay, you get what I'm saying? I don't believe he called Trey Lance about Trey Lance and said, "Let's make this Trey Lance thing on the fourth
I
round
know
pick."
for a fact he did.
He did?
I know for a fact he did.
Okay, well, that just stands.
Beyond a shadow of doubt. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I know for a fact he did because nobody else in the building would have signed off on that. When he called San Francisco, they thought he was fucking with him.
Yeah.
Shanahan said, "Who's on the phone?" I said, "Jerry Jones." He's like, "Jerry Jones?" Like, Jerry Jones? Yeah. I promise you, if I'm lying, I'm dying. Now the Mingo thing, still too fresh. We got to let things play out, get to the end of the season. I'll talk to some people and figure out. But uh, that smells like Jerry too. But who knows? The thing with Jerry is you know, in the
He
last
is the
like
GM though.
I would say in like the last 18 months, he's really kind of bullied his way back into the game.
I know, and but you
For the
know
la-
what else?
for,
Because I think, I not to cut you off, big dog, but I think
no,
it's
you're good.
because so many people been talking in the streets, and then Stephen A. saying, "Well, damn, you could be a Biden." Like, I think that really blood boiled his blood, and now he really wants to come in there and prove everybody that I'm still got this. I'm still Jerry fucking Jones, and I'm gonna prove to y'all
Yep.
this. And
That
he's really,
you're 100%, you're 100% on it, bud. So back when I used to listen to sports radio around here, because I'm in Dallas, the only time that would pull Jerry off sides is when they started questioning his mental aptitude or mentality. When they started questioning that, because he listens to that station, and he'll call in unprompted. He'll call in and start cussing at them. when he smells mortality and people start questioning it, he acts up. And Jerry's been acting up. When have we went from about 7 years of nothing but Catboy in the media, outside of Jerry's, radio hits. The press conferences and all that stuff was Steven. What have you seen the last like 18 months?
Mm-hmm.
You've been seeing a whole bunch of Jerry,
Mm-hmm.
a whole bunch of Jerry. We've been seeing
Mm-hmm.
more Jerry than we've seen in quite some time,
Mm-hmm.
since probably the early 90s. Seriously, we've been seeing a whole bunch of Jerry. So there's that concept, there's that factor onto it, which this all ties back into the Mike McCarthy thing, where what other coach you think, oh, Eagles just turned it over. Jalen Hurts just fumbled, actually. Um, what other coach is coming here? Like, I understand. I'm not a McCarthy fan. I'm not a McCarthy fan. Never have been, never will be. What are you bringing in here that is guaranteed better over him?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about the idea of something. I'm not talking about,
That's what Greg.
this.
That's what Greg Olson said. Just bouncing off what you just said, Mike. Greg Olson said the same exact thing you said. He said, "Be careful. You just just change it because you have to bring in something better than what you have." And Jerry and them
Yes,
ain't gonna bring in somebody better than what you have, except if it's Mike Zimmer.
it's, and Mike Zimmer would make things worse.
Mm-hmm.
He would absolutely make things worse. That man hated Kirk Cousins. He actively stifled that offense because he hated his quarterback. He's a dinosaur when it comes to offensive scheme. So if you hire Mike Zimmer, you're going to get an OC like, oh, fuck, I don't know.
Maybe he brings in
He,
Kevin Stefanski back because he didn't have him over there, and he could be in hot water in Cleveland. It don't matter. It ain't gonna matter. It's gonna be worse
no, it
failures.
won't.
I'm gonna just tell you right now, it's gonna be way worse failures. If Mike Zimmer becomes the head coach, Mike, those remember we see those terrible losses or those what the hell losses, those will become even more prevalent under Mike Zimmer. I guarantee you.
John Gruden still has an active lawsuit against Roger Goodell and the NFLPA for the leaked emails when they investigated Washington, and it ended up with John Gruden getting fired. So you may want to look into that getting cleared up before you get all hyped up about Gruden. Shout out to the
Gruden ain't coming
comments.
here. And shout out to my dog Thurston Howe. He said, let's just admit it, we aren't winning for a long time. I said that. I said on my Twitter, I said, I'm so glad I got to see 6 Super Bowls in my life. I'm glad to see I saw the tradition of the Cowboys. I
Hey,
saw it all, but it's not
I'm a
happening.
Dallas fan.
I'm
I
not a
saw my
Jones fan.
Rangers. I
Hmm.
saw my Stars. I saw my Mavs, and I saw my Cowboys. They all got a ring in my lifetime.
Hmm.
There's a lot of people that ain't that lucky.
Yep.
And that's why that also goes to the broader point of this whole thing is what happened to Kansas City. See, he was garbage, and people hid behind racism. No, no, he's garbage. Um, so I got to see my 4 teams get a championship. I'm
Mm.
happy.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, oh my God, he just did it again. Yeah, he just did it again. I hate Nick Sirianni, man. I God, I can't stand that fucking dude. Um, so with McCarthy, this is the most. It's 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 a hard thing to parse out because I hate him, but I also understand he's the best coach this team has had since Jimmy. The constant pre-snap penalties, the constant 12 men on the field. How do you get caught with 12 men on the field on offense, bro? much less much less multiple times a year. I, there's so much stuff that screams unprepared, not ready for the moment, just always behind the eight ball. How many times have we seen this team kill a drive because they get a badass third down conversion and it, holding offense or
Mhm.
false start or illegal man downfield or illegal formation or just the constant pre snap penalties is just, it's inexcusable. And it's been this way for his entire tenure here. They've been a top four penalized team for his entire tenure. And those are things you can control. The carrying two timeouts into the second half, like you get to carry them over when you could have called a timeout and resituated just like they had today. They ran that damn play with Cooper Rush, ended up in a turnover. You could have reset it, called the timeout. It's just the stuff that he can control, he's not controlling. And that has been my issue with him his entire tenure. Even people hated me when I talked about it when he was 12-5. Well, guess what? The shit's still happening when he's not 12-5.
Mhm.
It is these coachable moments that you're not controlling the things you can control. So how do I bring you back? At the same
Mhm.
time, who am I going to bring in here that's better? Who's going to
You could,
voluntarily
but you
sign up for this?
right. That's the thing. You could, but you don't want to. That's the thing.
I don't
You
think you
could.
could. I don't think I don't think you could, dude. I swear to you could offer Ben Johnson $5 million a year and he wouldn't take this job.
Oh, okay. I feel what you're saying in that. What I'm saying is you could as we just talked about how you could change all this around. You could go ham in free agency. You could do whatever you want because nobody's firing you. Nobody is
Yeah,
touching you. You could make a whole total difference. That's what I'm just saying. That yeah, you could get something better that would upgrade your team, but you don't want to get out your own way. So that's why you won't. But you could, but since you won't get out of your own way, there is no one that's better because the Joneses don't want to get out their own way and they want to control everything.
exactly, exactly. So we found someone as a Cowboys is like if you're a Cowboys fan, you found someone who's been able to operate in this circus where
Hmm.
the ownership is like toddlers with an endless supply of matches. And they keep finding matches. No matter how many matches you snatch up from them, they keep finding more matches.
Hmm.
You're not in control of your active roster. You're not in control of the injury reports. You're not in control of even the game plan. Yet you find a way to navigate all of that. I'm not
Yeah,
making excuses for McCarthy. I'm telling you straight up what it is, though.
yeah, that's the truth.
It's just straight up. I'm not a
No,
fan.
he's not a fan of McCarthy, so ain't no excuses
No.
being made for the McCarthy at all. He's not a fan. He ain't want him here no more. But what he's saying is, since the Joneses, what I just he just playing to my point and his point, since the Joneses won't get out of their own way, there won't be anybody else they will find better than McCarthy because of them. If they
The
will be
chances
out of
of
their
it,
own way, if they would get out of
the,
their own way and say, okay, we're stepping back and letting these guys, then we could get the Ben Johnsons because it will be different because Jerry will say, I'm paying this dude. We're going to step back and let this happen. But since that won't happen, McCarthy is our best option because the options become limited when you're dealing with the Joneses. Am I not
yeah,
right in what I'm
you're
saying
right
here?
on it. You're right. You're right on it. The chances of it getting worse with a new coach are infinitely better than the chances of it getting better with a new coach. The devil, like everybody's, it's we're always back to the same thing. It's been this way since fucking Shan Gailey, man. It's been this way. It's we'll just get a new coach. Everything will be different. We get a new coach. 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 We'll get a new OC. Oh, we'll just get a new OC. We'll get a new offensive line coach. We'll get a new. There's one constant for the last 30 years that always brings you back to the same point. The Cowboys cannot get out of the Jones way. Period. It's like we keep blaming players, we blame the quarterbacks, we blame the coaches. There's been a dozen different quarterbacks. There's been 100 different coaches. It all comes back to the common denominator with the calls coming from inside the house. And
Hmm.
they're running around with matches and they keep striking them up. And no matter how many you collect, they just always got another match. Oh, Lyle Collins going to be our starting right tackle. God damn it. Jerry, where'd you get that? Give me that.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's just constant, 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 constant.
Hmm.
And if you think a guy like Vrabel is going to come in here and have better success than McCarthy, shit, I got a bridge for sale. Make you a good deal on it. Make you a
Oh,
damn
it's
good
gonna,
deal on it.
you will be even more frustrated if Rabel comes in. You will be even more frustrated. And just like you said, to your point with the McCarthy thing, is that he's already been able to deal with this zoo.
Yeah.
So why not already have somebody in this theory? Not that I like it at all, just like you said, but in this theory, why not? Because he can deal with this because no real coach in their right mind, no real
Mm-mm.
coach in their right mind would come to the Dallas Cowboys organization, where they used to always pump up that everybody wants to come to Dallas. No, they don't. They just use Dallas
No.
like you've been talked about for so long. They just use Dallas as the stepping stone for what they need to do. They never have serious thoughts of ever coming here because of the ownership and what they do. No real coach is going to want to come here. Only puppet
No.
guys, or maybe only guys that want a second chance. Even Dan Quinn, when he came here, he had thoughts of being a head coach again. Okay, so he was going to play into that. Um,
They even
but
blue
we're not
balled him
really.
on that shit. They honey
Yeah,
licked the hell out of Dan Quinn on that.
yeah, and they probably to keep him right here. But Dan Quinn would have never did anything in Dallas if he would have became the head coach. Hell no.
It
And
would be
those
worse.
disasters
It
he
would
had, those disasters he had at Atlanta would be 10 times worse than Dallas. Am I right, Mike?
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And that's it. This goes all the way down to the quarterback. I'm telling you, like Mahomes ain't saving this. He ain't saving this. It's the dysfunction, like just Jones cancer. They've got stage 4 Jones cancer in the bones, and no matter what they try to do, it's just rotten. Even if they made a good decision, say they went and got Ben Johnson, and they went and got, I don't know, whatever your other quarterback that if you hate Dak, say they go get, I don't care, say they get Trevor Lawrence and Ben Johnson. You're looking at like maybe a 7-win team. Like they're just, you're starting to question if Mike McCarthy would come back. Um, you have a very valid point there that McCarthy may very well tell them no.
Hmm.
which I wouldn't blame him.
I wouldn't blame him either.
And
I got a question
and
for you. This would be
that
Bird.
is something that they're not prepared for. They're so used to having their way that having someone say, "I'm good, I'm good." No, y'all, I'm gonna go over here. Y'all figure it out.
I mean, we've been talking about this, B Bird. Shout out to you for the $5. Holly says, I think the Joneses have way more input on game planning than most Cowboys think, playing time, run pass issue. We've been saying this. We've been saying this for the last 4 years. Appreciate the shout out for the donation, donation, donation. But we've been saying that. That's call comes from up top. Not saying that they're actually doing the playbook, but the call comes from up top. If you see certain things
They're
that
not.
are happening, and your GM is saying it in the media the same
That
week
is your
it's happening in the lineup,
that's your boss.
that's your
At the
boss.
end of
He's
the
saying it.
day, at
Right.
the end of the day, that is still your boss. And your boss is in there in the meeting on Tuesday saying, "We want to see that Ezekiel. We want to see that Ezekiel out there." And we're a run first football team. That's your boss. Y'all got jobs. I'm assuming everybody in the comments has jobs or have
Hmm.
had a job.
And if your
How
boss
does
says this, you're gonna
bucking?
do it.
It's still a job.
Hmm.
I mean, we seen it like we all knew Dowdle was better. We all knew it, but he had to keep running Zeke out there till early November for whatever reason. The reason was ownership.
That's why. And then when we see why it took so long for Dowdell to finally be the unquestioning guy, because there was the fight back and forth because Jerry wanted to see Ezekiel and we saw the little tiff. And after the tiff was over, we saw no more of Ezekiel Elliott, right? Right, Mike? I mean, pay attention. Like, y'all pay attention. People pay attention. We saw the tip. Ezekiel was crying. Why'd you, Jerry signed me? Why ain't you playing me, Mike? Jerry brought me back. I don't want to play you because I didn't want you back. Just like when Jason Witten wanted to come back in 2020, one more year, and he said, no, I don't want you back. We don't want you back, Jason Witten. No,
And he
you should
came
have
back
never
and he
came
stood.
back in.
Yeah.
You should have never came back in 2019. And Jerry did that, pumping it up. Oh, we got Jason Witten coming back. And
That's John
everybody
Wayne.
fell into it.
That's John Wayne.
You get what I'm saying? He did the same thing with Zeke. I done said it many a times. He did the same thing with Zeke and Mike McCarthy. I said on Twitter months ago that he never wanted him. He wanted other backs, but he couldn't because front office was blocking it. They picked up Ezekiel Elliott right before the draft and said, "Hey, we got our running back now. Now we don't have to draft one. We got Deuce Vaughn, 6 round, 5'2" dude." Really? That's what we're doing? Those kind of things like that are the reason why this team don't do nothing. You drafted a running back in the 6th round that's like 5'5". I don't care. And you had plenty of backs that were available, and you have backs this year too. You don't have to draft one in the 1st round. I know the Gentry crit. You don't have to get him. You can get other really good
Okay,
guys. You can keep
you
Dowdell
bring
for the
up
cheap.
you you bring up a good point. So we've all seen what Dowdell's done, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
What were we on 4 straight games of 100 plus yards?
At least three.
Now they had three, so he got four today.
Okay, we'll go for.
So you want to burn a first round draft pick for a running back that's going to split reps for what? You burn a first round draft pick on a wide receiver that's going to get 80 to 90 targets. You burn a first round draft pick on an edge that's going to get, you know, 60 snaps a game. You burn a first round draft pick on an offensive lineman that's going to get 60 snaps a game. Not a running back that's going to split touches. Not a running back, period. Much less one that's going to split touches. You go ahead, you sign Dowdle up, get him a 3 year, $17 million deal, incentive laced with an injury out after 2025. Handle that up. You go get you a running back in the second or third round because no matter how many people want to yell about it, there's a difference in the 32nd pick and the 33rd pick. There's a massive, massive difference. You don't burn in the first round. You don't have the money. You don't have the 5th year option. You don't have any of that. In the second round, that guy, you can just use him the hell up. And if you want to franchise tag him at the end, you can. That's simple. You don't, you see this. You see how Dowdle's working on the line. This is literally reminding me of 2015 when we had Darren McFadden and got 1,500 all purpose with a corpse of Darren McFadden, and they used that to go spend a top 5 pick on Zeke. And how the hell did that work out?
Hmm.
It didn't. It didn't. You passed on Jalen Ramsey, 3 time All Pro, because you wanted to protect Romo. Who wanted to protect Romo? Well, pretty sure that answer's fairly obvious. They ended up having one regular season snap together
Exactly.
when he threw that pass to Terrence Williams. You just, you just don't do it. Dude, you're crazy right now.
Yeah, man, I feel you. Like I said, there's too many good running backs in this damn draft that you don't have to do that. And then the 5th year option. Why do you want to have a 5th year option on the first one? You don't want to do that. You want to have that 5th year option or that option. And then just like we talked about, Mike, you got to churn the receivers. So you got CD who you just signed, who's a dog, but you draft another dog. So whenever that contract comes up or something happens, you just keep it moving, keep it going, keep it churning. We talked about this how many times on Burgers and Blitzes? You always are drafting a top receiver every year. Every year you're drafting a dog receiver.
At
Every year
least
you
one
ain't
in the
drafting a
first
dog running back.
at
At
least
least
one in the
one
first 2 days every single year. Every single year.
every single year.
Look what Pittsburgh
Every
does.
year. Every year you have to do it. And Dallas don't do it. And then what happens because they don't do it, Mike? They get behind the 8 ball, and then they're taking whiffs on this guy in the 5th round or the 6th round who ain't really going to make a difference. You're taking a chance on a what if guy. No, you need to draft guys in the first couple of days every year so you can have look at Green Bay, like they have receivers they draft every year that are really really good, like are good, and you do that. It keeps your team steady. It keeps your team competitive. You don't ever have to kind of reach out and keep on doing these weird things and saying, "Oh, well, we got to go out and no." It's real simple, man. Draft them receivers early every year, every year.
Absolutely. You could draft an
Oh,
offensive lineman and a wide receiver in the first 2 days of every single year and never be wrong with your pick.
and
Every
yeah,
single year.
Rico last 3 games because he had 112 against Giants, 131 against Cincy, and 149 today.
Yeah. Boom.
He has 731 yards on the year on 152 carries, 1 touchdown, 4.8 yards a carry.
With a hodgepodge offensive line, dude, and a
Hodgepodge,
backup
and he's only
quarterback.
26. Sign him, re-sign him up for the cheap, and draft you that other running back. Pair both of those guys, and keep it moving. You can still keep a Deuce Vaughn if you want to be a gadget. If you want to, you got to figure out
No.
what you want to do. But no, I
No,
know. I'm
man, we're
just
a
saying.
football team. We're not a make a wish
I know.
organization.
I know. I'm just saying.
Oh, maybe
Just
we
get that
are. We
other.
had Jalen Smith.
Just get that other back, and it's like you said, the second or third round. Get that dog receiver in that first. I really think you should get that edge, maybe that second, get that running back in the third because you can squeeze it in the third because there's going
I
to
would
be some
lean
really good backs. You can squeeze it.
with the way the OL is playing. I would lean towards wide receiver or edge in the first.
Hmm. So, but yeah, dog, I'm done. We talked
I am too. I
Cowboys.
gotta go steer. I gotta go steer my port. So
Appreciate you, big dog. I like this show. Good show. We answered a lot of questions. We talked about a lot of things. So make sure you rewind this. And I keep telling y'all all day, we may not be getting the 20,000 views on this show, 5,000 million views on this show, but guess what? This
ain't
show
what we do
is
it for.
really it ain't, but we're here to tell you the truth. We're truth tellers. That's what we are. We're here to tell you the truth as we can really break it down. And we don't go with the high pods. We don't go with the glitz and glamour. We just tell you how it really is. If there's something exciting that we feel about the team, whether we like the front office or not, we're going to say it and we're going to be excited about it. If it's not, it's not. So make sure you come here and keep on tuning in for Burgers and Blitzes because it's the realest show out. I'm gonna just really stand on that. It is one of the realest shows out because we forecast so many things for y'all way
I'm
ahead
not
of
taking
time.
time out of my day to lie. I'm not taking
We
time
we
out of
we,
my day to
we
come on here and lie to you.
Yeah, we tell you all these things straight up front, and then when they happen, come on back here because we're like, hey, we told y'all. Sit here and listen. We got some things to say. But I appreciate you, dog, for always being the truth teller. I appreciate you always bringing that realness to the Cowboys community, and as we speak it. So go do your thing. Go get that good cooking on. Say what's up to the wifey, and we'll be talking very soon again. Burgers and Blitzes
Peace.
for my dog Mike White, Big Game James. We are out. Peace.
Peace. Thank you.